Evan from K-Enable Fitness, the blind strength coach, and today we're going to give you a more condensed version of our at-home broomstick on the back T-spine work. Okay, so remember, we're just following the rule of T, where we do our tilts, our twists for 10 reps. So all I'm going to do is talk through that routine. If you want more context, we have a more long form video to be able to go to. That's also on our YouTube channel, so make sure that you're checking that out. I'll leave the link in the description, and then you're going to be able to understand a lot more why we're doing this. But if you just want a reference for the actual quick at-home mobility workout, here it is. Okay, so all I'm doing is putting the broomstick on my back. Very similar to if I was going to do a barbell back squat at the gym. And remember, if we're doing this at home, make sure you're not using your white cane. And if you're doing this at the gym, make sure you're not using a barbell, but instead you're using like a PVC pipe or a wooden dowel, something nice and light so that you're able to not inhibit the system. Okay, I'm going to widen my stance, make sure I have a nice solid base with my feet nice and wide. And then I'm going to do 10 tilts to the left. And I notice that I'm keeping my hips nice and tight in order to make sure this is really just coming out of my spine. 9, 10, and then I'm going to tilt to the right. Right shoulder down the right pocket, keeping that head nice and tall. We want to keep our chin kind of back as well, make sure it's not poking forward the entire time. That will kind of undo a lot of the positive posture changes we're making here. Also, make sure you're holding on to that broomstick pretty well in your hands. You're not going too loose. That's almost going to let the shoulders off the hook when we could have some sneaky external rotation work coming into play with the bar on our back as well. Okay, now we're going to do our twist. So I'm twisting to the left, keeping my hips tight enough to not go along for the ride really, and make sure it's coming out of my back. Head does go along for the ride though. And this is a routine that I kind of came up with when I was going through a lot of thoracic spine issues, especially getting ready for the Adaptive Strength World Championships. That's 9, 10, and twisting to the right, 10 reps. So yeah, I was getting ready for the Adaptive Strength World Championships and had to do circus dumbbell, where I have a giant dumbbell that I have to lift with one arm overhead. But with my scoliosis, my right side wasn't really behaving, and my scoliosis also messes with my nerves on my left elbow, and there's some other injuries that have led to that as well. So I'm strong on my right side, but the range of motion wasn't quite there. So I had to make sure that my T-spine was able to open up and let my scap go along for the ride enough as well to be able to do a good job. And luckily I was able to get a couple of reps that's really helped me out point-wise at the World Championships in England this year. So this is really important for performance, but then also making sure that posture isn't all messed up, so you're able to be a lot more functional and hopefully less having to go through a lot of pain in your everyday life as well. Okay, so now back into the workout. We're going to do our tilts. I'm going to tilt to the left, and I'm going to twist left and right, back and forth for 10 reps, hanging out in that tilt. If you really want to segment this and do your tilt into a twist and come back up, you're free to do that as well. I kind of like, just in order to keep track of 10 reps, staying down in this twist. Remember, if we're sitting at a desk a lot, or we're really peeking close to our phone all the time because of our vision loss, this is going to be really important in order to open things back up. We're sneakily working on thoracic extension by making sure that every other direction that the T-spine can move is really healthy as well. Okay, so that's our 10 reps there. I'm going to tilt to the right. I'm going to do my twists. Knocking in the stuff behind me. And again, make sure you're looking out for asymmetries with this stuff. Just kind of gather those details for yourself so you know more and more what you need to work on. 10. Okay, now we're going to do a twist into our tilt. So I'm twisting to the left, and I'm tilting to the left, and then all the way to the right, back and forth for 10 reps. 8, 9, 10. Twisting to the right and doing my tilts. This side is definitely more gummed up for me, so this is the one I tend to really focus on. You can tell that my right shoulder really has to compensate by doing some extra external rotation. Okay, so this is the one I need to keep focusing on. Whenever I like foam roll or really open up my scaps, this is the one that really needs to start gliding a little bit better. So you have to learn a lot about yourself during this routine. Next, we're gonna integrate the rest of the body, really widen that stance, open up those hips a little bit more too, and then we're gonna be able to shift to the right with our hips while we tilt to our left. And then vice versa. Tilt to the right, hips go off to the left. Really letting the healthy knee and hip bend come into play, open up the inside of the hips, and be able to have some more ground forces coming into play here too. You're gonna feel a little bit more athletic during this one. There's probably gonna be some different ranges of motion that your hips really need as well. Okay, now we're gonna do our twist. I'm gonna twist to the left as my right heel comes off the ground and the hips go along for the ride with a little twist as well. Now they get to point each direction too. Back and forth, left and right. You can hear my ankles popping, hopefully. 9 and 10. Okay, that is the entire routine. Now, as I talk about more in the really long form version where you get a lot more explanation and context, make sure to stabilize the system as well, whether it's doing like some lying down YWTIs, an easy at home exercise, or if you're doing this as prehab work or a warm up at the gym, make sure you're doing some like face pulls, different things like that in order to really get the upper back activated and being able to get those rhomboids, traps, and rear delts to do their jobs. So that's going to really open things up, but then your body isn't going to remember to hang on to these ranges of motion if you're not asking for them to actually strengthen those ranges of motion. So now that things are opened up, you're in a really cool opportunity to make sure to make the upper back do its darn job. So then you're going to be able to build up how much your brain appreciates these positions and allows you to have better posture, and then also increase your muscle endurance to have that better posture for longer. Again, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to kaneablefitness@gmail.com. Shoot a comment down below. Please also like and subscribe and spread this stuff around for anybody that you think it can help.